Hey guys, what's up? It's Marlene. Hey, I'm back with another one. Finessing per usual. Like someone left a comment this morning. Yesterday I'm on the videos and I left something like the Duchess Marlene. Thank you for Marlene, the Duchess of finessing. I love it. I love it. I love it. What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Happy Saturday, even though you'll probably see this on a Sunday, but it's being recorded on a Saturday, so I'm a day in advance. But it's okay. I kind of had to do that so I could make sure I like stay motivated. I'm trying to have like videos every day, at least for 2 weeks. So that's that. But hey guys, what's up? I missed you. Oh my gosh, you guys. I read the comments. I've been reading the comments. I will respond to all the comments so far. Oh my gosh, like, oh, I cried. Like, I really, like, legit, like, you made a gangster cry. Like, oh my God, what's down here in the cut? Like, oh no, why are you playing with me? Okay, but y'all have my feelings and like, like, y'all have my feelings. I was like, oh my God, they love me. They remember me. Like, they still mess with me. So I appreciate you so much. Hold up. You guys, I don't know what happened like during quarantine-ish. Well, before then, but like quarantine, like I truly turned into like a mini Barb, like for real. Please don't come for me. So shout out to Glinda, shout out to Anne, shout out to Robin, shout out to Vibing with Sarpongs, shout out to Indy, Jay Rickard, D, Joanna, The Queen Bee for You, Rose, Stay Hungry, Misty Cliff 98, Mark G, what up Marco? Sparkle Vibes Amore, Allison, but she goes by 42893. Allison, what up, Allie? Black Vixen, Susan, Angel Face Cutie, and Applesauce, because they were asking me like, oh my gosh, Mark, I love your lip, because I had this really like matte dark lip. So you guys, in case you didn't know this, because maybe some of you guys don't know, I'm such a weirdo. Like, I'm an Aquarius. Forgive me. Like, air signs are just so weird. I'm just so weird. Oh my gosh. But I have a beauty line. Maybe you never knew. I started off, it's called Lena Lashes, right? But it's morphing into like a full blown cosmetic line, right? Which I'm excited about. So part of the line, I have lashes, of course. I have lipsticks, and I have two kinds of liquid lipsticks, right? I have the more matte than matte liquid lipsticks. They're currently on sale, so go on the website, lanelashes.com. I have it in the link below. Like, please, can you like just shop? Like, can you just, because they're on sale for $5, can you just take them? Because I have to get rid of them so I can get the new stock in. Right? And then I have these other mattes called baby mattes. This is actually a baby matte, but with a lip gloss on top. Like, it's so pretty. It's so nice. But the baby mattes, they're more of a creamy, they are creamy liquid lipstick, and they do long, they last really long. I just love them. Like, the shade is so beautiful. So the shade I had on that video is called Mystique. This one is Squad Goals with a lip gloss on top, right? I have some pretty news, but don't worry, I'll come back and finesse for the lipsticks, you know what I'm saying? Because I have to restock, but I do need some orders before I do the restock, but I will be back to finesse. So, just hold on tight. I'm gonna come through. I'm gonna show up, sis. Me and your wallet finna be best friends. Ooh, that's my best friend. That's my best friend. Okay, so they were asking me. So Cutie Pie and Applesauce were asking me, oh, Ronnie, what lipstick is that? So I do have lots of lipsticks. I will show them. I will show you guys the lipsticks. I'm gonna get my stuff together. Oh my gosh, like, so, let me tell you a story. So I've been uploading these really nice videos because I had to put a lot of videos on private. A lot of my videos, like, when we get on the live, I love live. I love lives. I love StreamYard. We just be ratchet. Like, we just have a good old time. It's too formal for the internet. It's too formal for YouTube, but those are on Patreon. So I do have a Patreon. It's called I Care About Black Issues. I will have the link down below. It's going to kind of be, please subscribe to my Patreon. I'm going to have content on there that's more so the stuff you can't really say on YouTube, or the words you can't really use on YouTube, because now when you submit your videos, especially if you want to monetize your videos, like, YouTube makes you like hold yourself accountable by asking you, like, do you have violence? Do you have profanity? Do you have this? Do you have this? Like, and it's like an honor code kind of thing. So I'm definitely going to be more intentional to not like use profanity and certain things. But you know, we grown. Like we sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So those will be on a Patreon, right? Those will be on Patreon. So check out my Patreon. It's really affordable. I didn't make anything crazy. Please support the kid. I have to buy so many things, so please help me out. I want y'all to be my investor. Okay, so thank you guys so much. It's really nice because you know I haven't posted like full makeup looks in such a long time, and to know that y'all still like you still mess with the kid, like I just merci mes chéris, vraiment que Dieu vous bénisse, may God bless you, right? Que Dios te bendiga, amen, amen. So yeah, so today's video, you guys, I'm coming back again. This is another video about the B palette. As you can see, it's all over. It's so yellow. It's so yellow. Like, I even have a mirror. Like, I have this mirror. Okay. This is also the mirror, but this is for the Nigeria collection, but it matches. This is my Oshun mirror. I call it the Oshun mirror. It's a long story, but I'll tell you the story later. But yeah, like, super, super excited. Like, the B palette, it should go up October 15th. The retail price is going to be $52. The look I have on today is completely from the B palette. So usually I used to post look wise. I will do that though. But I post the looks on Instagram for the Lena Lashes page, which is Lashes by Lena. That's the page on Instagram. But I will be posting looks here also on YouTube. Now, let me also say this, right? I'm gonna have a lot of makeup tutorials for all of my palettes, whether it be the B palette, the Nigeria palettes, and any other palettes I decide to do. And what I will do is that those tutorials will be hosted on a different platform, and they will come complimentary to anybody who purchases a palette. So let's say you like this look and you want to see how I do this look. If you purchase the palette, you will have access to the full tutorial so that you can see how I achieve this look. Yes, girl, I have to sell these things, child. It's time to be smart out here, okay? It's time to be smart. So it's time to be all kinds of intelligent, right? Because I need to sell this. Like, y'all need my money. I need my investment. I got things I want to do. There's so many beautiful things I want to do. I'm like, oh my gosh. But I know I'm going to get there. So tutorials will be hosted on a whole different website. But here on YouTube, like, we'll have fun. I promise you, we'll still have fun. Like, we'll have the Patreon. We'll have YouTube. We'll have, like, the makeup place. It's going to be really amazing. Bunch of tutorials are going to be out there, like foundation routine. A lot of stuff will be on there. But if you don't want to buy a palette also, but you still want to see like makeup tutorials for me, I think the fee might be like $5. I think like the initial offer will be like for $5 in like a month. And then after that, it'll be like $9 a month. Okay? So that's that. So excited about the B palette. The B palette also comes with like some lip glosses. They'll be like in this little cute box. Like, it's so cute. Like, the B palette. The B is just, oh my gosh, it's just everything. She is just everything to me. Now, the ones I have, like, this kind of like decoration, right? The one with the shades, like, it's actually not on here, but these are like my decoration stuff. So here is the inside of the B palette. It's going to be really pretty. Bunch of cute little hexagons. You will have 19 shades in here. So it's 19 shades for $52. A lot of the shades are very pretty. Now, I did want even more expensive pigments, but it would have taken the price like way too high. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to do that. So $52 for this palette. I will show you the colors on the 15th, hopefully, by God's grace. You will see the colors on the 15th, but it's a beautiful, gorgeous palette. Okay, in honor of Louisiana. If you guys know, I live in New Orleans now. I've been here for about like 5 to 6 years. It's a place that means a lot to me. Initially, I wasn't really excited to move here. I will be quite honest. I'm from DC, so it's different. But maybe some of you guys do know this. Some of you guys don't know this. But I am originally from the Ivory Coast, so my first language is French. And one of the nice things about living here, the boys got to go to school. They went to a school. They got to learn French. Baby James, my son James, he's like he's pretty fluent in French, right? So it's kind of like a nice place where you can come in if you are French speaking. Like, people actually speak French in the streets. And my neighbor right next door, Jean-Pierre, he's Haitian, Haitien. Yeah, so I go there sometimes, we talk. You know, it's really nice like that. And then one time we went to a plantation called the Whitley Plantation. Oh my gosh, it was so emotional. I think maybe that's where something touched me, or like a spirit left and came home with me. But going to the Whitley Plantation and reading the names of a lot of people from the Ivory Coast were stolen and brought here to Louisiana. Right? It even looks like Abidjan, to be honest. Like, it does. It truly does. So it became a really emotional place for me. And so when you go to the Whitley Plantation, outside in the yard of the Whitley Plantation, they have a mausoleum. Okay, and the mausoleum has a lot of names of the people who were enslaved on that plantation, and a lot of those names are Mandinga. So the Mandinga people, that's like they're a huge. They make up a huge kingdom in West Africa. If you guys have heard of like Mansa Musa, so those are his people. Okay, those are his people. Now my mom, although I am from the Ivory Coast, but my mom's mother, her father was from Guinea. So they're all part of the Mandinga kingdom, like all of them. And so when you look at the names, like, oh my gosh, these are my mom's people. And my mom honestly would have been the kind of person, based on where she, like, her people are from in the Ivory Coast in West Africa, that would have probably been brought here as an enslaved, kidnapped, beautiful African woman. So it really, really, really touched me. It touched me. So when I decided to do the palette, I also was thinking about Beyonce. I ain't gonna lie, I really was. I love Beyonce. I do. I love Beyonce. I love Beyonce so much. But I didn't want to do like Beyonce palette, because Beyonce will sue you. I was like, oh, don't sue me, child. I'm barely making it. Okay. So I was like, oh my gosh, how do you say Beyonce without saying Beyonce? I was like, oh, the bees, and I love the bees. And at that time also, Urban Decay, I came up with a palette called the Honey palette. And I was waiting for that one. I was. And when I finally saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is it? I was like, ooh, child. So it truly prompted me to create something, like to have a palette like centered around bees, like something bees, but with colors that would be more suitable for Black women. And the crazy thing is, like, Urban Decay used Lizzo for the ad, right? And it's only one shade. I was like, this, and no wonder the shade she had on is like the only shade that was suitable. I'm like, this is crazy. So like, if I was to do a bee palette, how would I do it? I was like, oh my gosh, Beyonce, like, but Lil' Kim also, though. Lil' Kim, don't look like Lil' Kim, I think I do. Lil' Kim also, oh my gosh, I love Kim forever. I love you, Kim, I love you so much, Big Sis. That's my Big Sis in my head forever. And I promise you, I will meet her. Watch, me and this Cancer, Aquarius Cancer, we gonna find it, we gonna make it work. So I was like, oh my gosh, how would you do something Beyonce inspired without like really doing Beyonce? So I put like a bunch of bees. I mean, this really big bee that's like really flying over the state of Louisiana. In my head, that's bee. That's the queen bee. Then I use my mom, for what I just told you. And then just create like a hive, right? So when you really think about it, this is also a shout out to the beehive. Because you got bee, hive, right? Like, does that make sense? Like the beehive, because there's a hive right here, then you got the bees, you know what I'm saying? So y'all, this was really, really crazy. And then we have like some of the major cities, Baton Rouge, which is the capital, Baton Rouge, which is the capital of Louisiana, New Orleans, my son was born here, Stefan was born here, Houma, Chalmette. Chalmette is interesting. You guys know about Chalmette. You do. A lot of people know about Chalmette, but maybe you might not know that you know about Chalmette. Chalmette is where the Gorilla Glue lady is from. You see, like, my hair, it don't move. She say, my hair, it don't move. So she from Chalmette. And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. And then we have Alexandria, and then we have, like, Shreveport. It's super, super, super pretty. But don't worry, on the 15th, I'll do even more detailed video, like, because it's so dope. Like, we really have to, like, take our time and talk about the collection and the shades, too. So the shades, like, the eyeshadow shades, I wish I had you see, this is why I said I wish I had a second camera, because at this moment in time, the second camera will focus on this, and I'll be talking right here, but it's okay. So, and then the shades also are in Kourivini. Kourivini is Louisiana Creole. So, you know how you have, like, Haitian Creole, Martinique Creole, Guadeloupe Creole, a lot of French Creole, like there's Martinique, there's Guadeloupe, there's Haiti. Haiti, chérie. C'est pas pour that. Alain Café, oh, j'adore Alain Café. But La Réunion, il y a Réunion, Martinique, Guadeloupe, Réunion, Haiti. Purée, les Seychelles aussi, voilà. So you have like, but the Louisiana Creole, which is, it's very, I know, to me, honestly, it's kind of similar to Haitian Creole. But some people who are Haitian and speak Creole will say like, oh no, it's not too similar, but it really is. Okay. So the names are in Kourivini, which is a Louisiana Creole. It is so beautiful. And I want to thank Jimmy for that. That's my husband. Shout out to my husband. I want to thank Jimmy for that, because if you guys don't know this, Jimmy is, for as much as he might look mixed, but he is mixed because his dad, so my father-in-law, his mother, she's from Lafayette. So I also put Lafayette here, also Lafayette. Voilà. There's a famous department store in Paris called Galerie Lafayette. So, but there's a city here called Lafayette. So my husband, his paternal grandmother is from Lafayette. So when she grew up, her mother didn't speak English because they're like Louisiana Creoles. They're Creole, really, right? I don't even call them like African American because their culture is really different. It's very unique. But so the great grandmother, she only spoke Corivini. She didn't speak English. Like I think everybody else spoke Corivini, and it's crazy because even if you go on YouTube, right, you'll see like African Americans who are like, I mean, but they're truly Louisiana Creoles speaking like a Creole French. It is crazy. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. Oh, I was so touched. So I didn't know when I designed the palette. I didn't know what to name the shades. I really didn't know what to name the shades. And Jimmy, I don't know what led James is always trying to complain. You know, my husband's a Gemini. They're never happy. Like Geminis are in a perpetual state of always like challenging what is. Like they like, why is it this way? Why is it this? So he was having an issue because at the boys' school, they were learning French and they weren't learning Corivini. So he felt like because it's a language that is part of the heritage of Louisiana, especially for, I don't want to say indigenous blacks, but indigenous blacks who are from Louisiana. But it's not even just Louisiana because it's really like part of the Louisiana Purchase. So some parts of Texas, some part of Mississippi, some parts of Alabama, people used to speak Corivini. They used to speak this, the Creole. So he was messing with that. So he was just having me read this stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I need to like for the shadows. So then I found myself reading so much stuff in Corivini. Like I read like Psalms in Corivini. It is crazy. It's crazy. Like, because when you look at it from a French speaker, somebody who was probably educated in French, it's like, what are these words? But when you say it phonetically, you hear what they were trying to say. And so like that really, like, it really brought me to tears because, you know, if you let's say you're fluent in a language, like you speak a language, whatever, you know what you're saying. But if someone is outside, right, because our people were enslaved, right, they were enslaved, they were tortured, you know, they were truly, truly, truly mistreated. And I really think a lot of people need to go to a plantation once in their lifetime. It's going to align a lot of stuff in their heads because people do a lot of stupidity because they don't truly know what black people had to go through. And this is why I get really, really emotional and I get really, really passionate when a lot of people or a lot of new movements today try to compare their oppression to black oppression. Like, seriously, you guys, like, you go to a plantation, like, it'll mess you up. You know what I mean? And I remember even like when we went to the Whitley plantation and we actually went inside. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm about to cry now. But when we went inside the slave master, the colonizer's house, and the children wrote on the wall and they wrote in French because I could read it. I'm like, look at these little. And the thing that our people were there, and then you go to the kitchen and it's like it's outside, and you know they're like cooking like okra and like. Part of Ivorian cuisine is okra. We love okra. Ivorians, we love okra. Like you can feel like these were your people. Like these, like you can, and oh Jesus. You know. So when you're outside and you hear someone talking to you, right? Especially when you're denied education and things like that, what you hear. The person speaking properly plus the wind, and then by the time it gets to you, it's kind of distorted, right? So Creole is really people speaking based on what they hear, right? And because they weren't allowed to properly know, like this is how you would say noir. For example, like the color black is noir, is Noir, right? So for them, they would say noir, which makes sense because if you're outside, le noir, by the time it gets to you over there, what you hear is noir. Right? So they lack proper diction because they never had proper instruction, and that too was intentional, right? So having to read like the Psalms in Corivini, like the phonetic, like I could see them trying, you know, and that's what Creole, that's what any Creole, but since I speak French, so that's what any of these Creoles, whether it's the Haitian Creole, Corivini Creole, or any of the Creole from what we call Outre-mer, you know, it's like our people were trying their best. You know, imagine coming from West Africa, you know, you might speak Twi. Twi is a language of people from Ghana. So they're called, like, so as a people, they're called Ashanti, but their language is actually called Twi, right? So they speak Twi. If you're from the Mandinka kingdom, you speak Bambara. Like, like whatever language that you spoke, right? You might have spoken Yoruba, you might have spoken Igbo, you might have spoken a lot of languages, because people speak different languages. So it's like, and then you're brought here by force. People want you to work. You don't understand what they're saying. It's like you're confused because you don't know, like, what, huh, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't I won't get that. Like, you don't know what they're saying, right? So, but you have to learn, because if you don't learn, they're going to kill you. If you don't learn, these colonizers are going to abuse you. They're going to traumatize you. They're going to torture you. It's really, really awful. So it's like these people had to learn the language as fast as possible, the best that they could, right? And so, like, that's what Creole represents to me. It's like my people being kidnapped, thrown into, like, hell, like such a demonic situation of oppression. And it's like you have to hurry and do whatever you can so you can understand these people before they do some serious harm to you. Like, the audacity, this is it's really sickening. And that's why, like, even in my personal life, there are certain things I just don't agree to do. I'm not going to do it. I do not care. There are certain things, and there are certain people, I just don't put them in a pedestal, because I'm like, please, if you don't go sit down somewhere, you know what I mean? And that really is, like, all of that, like, it really is a metaphor for the life of Black people when you really think about it, because Black people always have to try their best, like, with the least amount of resources, with the least amount of exposure, with the least, like, our entire life is a Creole melee. Like, that's really what it is. It's really what it is. So the names in here are in Creole. They're beautiful names, like, let me tell you my favorite shades though. Favorite shade names. I haven't decided, like, what color, because I have the shades, but I haven't finalized how I'm placing it. Girl, I'm crazy. But one thing, they're 19 names, so let me read the names to y'all, but I'll probably read them again, but it's okay. Entertain me, please. So one of them is Nation Noire, and mind you also, I came up with the names of the shadows in 2020. Yeah, this has been a minute. So I picked the shade names in the middle of Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery. I was just fed up. I was just really fed up. So yeah, so these names might be militant AF, but it ain't my fault. You know what I mean? I don't think it is what it is. I didn't do nothing. I'm reacting to what's been done to me, so it is what it is. So one of the shades was Nation Noire, because I wanted to say Black people, but I could. So in French, people is Jean. Jean is like G-E-N-G. Yeah, G-E-N-S, whatever, Jean. But they didn't have it. I was like, what the heck? But they had nation. So instead of like le peuple, or people, le peuple noir. I wanted people, Black people, le peuple. They didn't have it. So what I found in Courrier was nation, which is nation, noir. So it looks like NWA. When you do get your palette, you'll see like Nation NWA. Like, what kind of rap? No, it's not the rap group. It means noir for Black, but it's noir. Okay, so that's Black people. Another shade right there is cheveux crépus. So that's nappy hair. Cheveux, but they say cheveux. Cheveux crépus. In French, we say cheveux crépus, right? And then nous autres las, we're tired. Because I think that's just being Black globally. Like, Black in the diaspora period. Black people are tired. Like, even me, I'm really tired, you guys. Tired from so many things, but we're just tired. It's just too much. So nous autres las. In French, we have a verb that says s'enlacer, je m'en lasse. Like, I'm getting fed up, I'm tired. So nous autres las, like, we're tired, like, we're fed up. Okay? Then we have femme t'es belle. So femme is woman. T'es belle, woman, you're beautiful. Another one is parler son nom. This one was for Breonna Taylor. I didn't know how, I couldn't switch her name to, like, make it something cute and witty. So it says parler son nom, which is say her name. Voilà, parler son nom. Voilà. Donc parle son nom, dis son nom. Ensuite, merci bon Dieu. So in French it's merci bon Dieu, but in Caribbean it's merci bon Dieu. Vaillant Famier. So we have Vaillant Famier, which means like strong woman, and I was like, that's an ode to the strong Black women. So Vaillant Famier. Then we have mon bouclier. The Lord is my shepherd and my shield. Who shall I fear? I think it's Psalm 98. It's either Psalm 91 or Psalm 98, but it says like the Lord is my shepherd and my shield, who shall I fear? Amen. Then we have cri de nerf. Cri de nerf is when you push. It's like when you make a cry, like a loud cry of just pain, like you're just fed up, like this is getting on my nerves, like you know what I mean? That's what it is. La reine créole. La Reine Créole, this shade is dedicated to Marie Laveau. Marie Laveau is a very iconic Creole woman in New Orleans. Iconic. Sometimes people try to associate her with being the queen of voodoo, but once again, it's like even though it might seem like, oh, it's an honor being bestowed on her, but it's once again, because when they say voodoo, they're not saying voodoo in a positive way, like, oh, the way you would say being Catholic or Catholicism, right? It's more so she was the queen of darkness. Like when they say voodoo, a lot of times, especially in Western colonizer culture, colonizer speech, saying voodoo is a pejorative. Okay, so instead of saying la reine du voodoo, I'd rather call her the queen, the Creole queen. Donc c'est la reine créole. Then we have la Louisiane, which is la Louisiane, but in Caribbean, la Louisiane. You'll see it when you get it. Louisiana. Then we have bonne chance, which means good luck. Bonne chance. Fait bon gombo, fait gombo. There's no trip that is complete. There's no Louisiana. There's no New Orleans. There's no Baton Rouge. There's no Creole culture without a good gumbo. And whenever you come to New Orleans, let me know. Maybe one day we'll have a big party in New Orleans. Or if you come for Essence, let me know. So we can have like a good old bowl of gumbo, because this is what it is. New Orleans has the best gumbo in the world. The West Bank has the best gumbo in the world. Okay, then we have Sesame Bonsai. And the reason, and that means, oh, this is good. This is really good. And the reason why I picked this one too, once again, it's all about the culinary patrimony of New Orleans, of Louisiana. This state, the city that I'm in, New Orleans, probably has some of the best food in the world. Definitely some of the best food in all of America and the contingent states. So you'll say that here, oh, this is so good. This is so good. So if you come here and you try our food, you will say that a lot, okay? And then, excusez-moi. So for them, it's excusez-moi. In Haitian Creole, be excusez-moi. Because in Creole, moi, me is moi in French, so it's M-O-I. It means moi. But in Haitian Creole, it's moi, which is M-W-E-N, right? But for them, it's moi. But it's the M with and the O with the accent. So excusez-moi. The reason why I put that, it means excuse me. Because I felt like a lot of things that were happening to black people, a lot of things that were happening to black women, it's like, excuse me? What? girl, let's not even get into it, yeah. Okay? And then we have, what's the next one? Fleur de Lis. We have a shade here called Fleur de Lis. The state flower for Louisiana is la fleur de lis. Okay, la fleur de lis. That's what it's called. It looks like an ace of spades. You've seen it if you watch football and you've seen the Saints play. But it looks like a spade like this. It looks like an ace of spades. So it's called the fleur de lis. So instead of actually saying fleur de lis, I twisted it and I said Floyd de lis. So that's a shout out to George Floyd. Because it fit. It's kind of clever. It's kind of weird. I hope you find it clever and witty, but that's where that comes from. So instead of saying fleur de lis, let's say Floyd de lis, okay? And then Montignon. So we'll talk about that too, but what my mom is wearing here, because we took my mom's face and then we had her like wear a tignon. So the wrap on her head is called a tignon. Once again, oppressive laws being passed to control and censure and oppress black women. But we'll talk about that. So Montignon. Then this shade here is called à la mode. So in French, when you say like, oh, we do something the old traditional way, an old-fashioned way, the old-fashioned way in French, which is à la mode, I twisted that too to say à la mode. Because in French, there are many ways to get the O sound. So O can be the letter O. It can be A-U, mix an O. It could be E-A-U, mix an O, right? So Ahmaud Arbery, if you take the mod part, it actually is à la mode. So this shade, instead of saying like M-O-D-E, à la mode, I'm actually saying à la mode. But when you see the spelling of it, this is in reference to Ahmaud Arbery. Like, for Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, may their souls rest in peace, and I pray for the families. And then the last one is beauté naturelle, which is natural beauty. Beauté naturelle, la beauté naturelle. So those are some of the cute little names. I'm excited. I hope you love it. Dedicated to my mom, dedicated to my husband. He brought me here. I didn't want to come here, but I'm kind of grateful that I did because, try something new, trying something different. It was, this journey was like, it took a minute. I don't want this video to be too long. Okay. Yeah. So I don't want this video to be too long, but this took me This took me a minute, you guys. It took me like almost 2 years from coming up with the idea, designing the idea, having to pay for this, because I didn't have all the money at once. I had to like pay in increments, and like, you get it how you live, right? So it really, it took, oh my gosh. And I'm still not fully done because we're still pressing the shades. So still not fully done, but I'm just really, really grateful. Really grateful. I hope that you guys love it. I hope the price is reasonable for you guys. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it means a lot to you. And I do look forward to it in the future. So, like, you see how I have like the Nigeria collection. So the Nigeria collection actually is going to be, it's actually a beauty brand of its own. Yeah, Nigeria collection is like the Nigeria beauty brand. That's a brand of its own. And then this is a separate brand, right? So I will have one brand that like focuses a lot on like African luxe, because that's the way I see the Nigeria collection. To me, it's a very luxe collection. It's very luxe. I mean, this one's also very luxe, but Nigeria is like a bit more expensive because the pigments will always be like top of the line, and I did that on purpose also. But then this beauty brand here, I truly want to focus on telling African American stories. It's really, really important because they both, like, the African stories need to be told, and then the African American stories need to be told, because although these are African people who were kidnapped, stolen, and brought here and tortured, right? With time, 400 years, they've morphed into something. They've had different struggles. They had, so much more. And there are so many African American stories that are not told. Like, even here too, right? Even with the bee palette, like something that really made me happy with the bee palette. But I'm not gonna make this video too long though. But something that really made me happy with the bee palette, like having all these bees flying on there. I remember when I was, when I came to the state, I came here in the 6th grade. 6th grade, yeah. And in the 9th grade, okay, I took IB. It was called IB or AB English. It was for the honors program. And my English teacher was an African American woman, right? Really smart, really gracious, very, very eloquent. And she had us read these folklore. So these are African American folklores. And they were all written by an African American author, a female author named Virginia Hamilton, right? And so one of the folklore, if you've never read it, if you're African, if you're African American, if you've never read it, it's called The People Could Fly. So in the story, in the folklore, what Miss Hamilton does, she recounts the story of these African slaves, these enslaved Africans who were brought here savagely by the colonizers. And she's saying that they used to fly. Like, when they were back in Africa, they could fly. But when they were kidnapped on the journey here, they lost their wings, right? So because they've lost their wings, they've lost their magic, and it gets sad because you can, like, imagine, right? Imagine if you have the ability to fly. And that's a huge part. Like, this is really, really touching, you guys. Please give me time. Like, I need to break this down for you. But just imagine, like, flying is part of it's what you do. Like, imagine having wings, right? Imagine a butterfly losing its wings. Like, if you have a monarch butterfly and they're so beautiful, like, what if he loses his wings and he just goes back to being a caterpillar? Can you imagine how devastated he's going to be? Because when he had his wings, especially in the springtime, he could see all these beautiful flowers. Like, he could just fly and just land on whichever flower just made his eyes go crazy. Like, he could just drink the nectar out of any sweet plant, any sweet rose that he wished. And now, because he's lost his wings, he will never see that beauty again. He will never have that proximity. I can imagine. If you're an eagle, like anything that has a bee, anything that can fly, imagine losing your wings and how devastating that must be, and how, like, that probably puts you in a state of depression. Like, who am I without my wings? So what she's saying is they lost their power, they lost their confidence. When they lost their wings, they lost it all, right? But then something happens and they remember. I don't know. I forgot. I haven't read that in a while. But you have your kids read it, and you need to read it. But somehow they remember. They remember, and one day their wigs come back out, and they take their kids and they take themselves and they fly out of, like, slavery. It's oh my gosh. It's so oh my gosh, melancholically poetic, And I remember reading that. And so when I designed the thing, when we put all these bees in there, it reminded me of The People Could Fly. You know, being an air sign, because I am an Aquarius, right? I've come to realize that I'm very attached to things that can fly, whether it be bees, dragonflies, butterflies. You know, I'm attracted to things that have wings. And one of the things that's happened in my life that I've talked about too, right? I've talked about my depression. It was really bad. And it really came from like the business. Like, because just like them, like being successful, having a certain way of things going, like they were my wings. I felt like I could fly. And all of a sudden it just felt like my wings got clipped and I didn't know how to fly. And for 3 years, you guys, your girl didn't know how to fly. I was just a caterpillar. Like, my depression had me out here, like, laying, like, I remember on this carpet right here, just constantly, like, feeling so sad for myself, confused, like, thinking about the past, like, oh, I should have done this. Why did I not? Why? Like, you know, because I felt like I didn't know how to fly anymore. No, I'm being really, really serious, you guys. Like, this collection is, like, it truly is a huge part of my life. It's a huge part of my testimony. It's a huge part of who I am as an Aquarius, like, you know, because I truly felt like I couldn't fly anymore. And I didn't know if I could ever fly again. Because I was like, maybe this is it for me. Like, maybe, you know, maybe this is it. You know, and then you know, people say, oh, Mari, you look good. Yeah, but I was a lot bigger. I lost a lot of weight. You know, I had to get so much. I felt like I would never get back myself. Like, my self, like, you know, I thought Marlene was gone. And I thought I had to just accept that I was like a loser or that I was being punished. I don't know, you guys. It was really, really sad. It was sad. It's sad. When you are someone who's very creative, you know, when you're someone who, like, you live off your imagination, you know, the same way for, like, these butterfly, like, these beautiful flowers just excite them and they're able to have, like, this, enjoy the sweet nectar of, like, all these plants, you know, same thing for the bees, right? The honey that they produce. And one day you no longer have those wings and you're no longer able to do the things that make you happy. It is so hard. But we thank God for Jesus. I thank God for the Holy Spirit. I thank God for my ancestors, because a lot of my ancestors have visited me. You know, I even do believe that I didn't come to Louisiana by happenstance. Being Ivorian and being here, I don't think it's random. I think a lot of my ancestors are here in this place. Some I've never met, but we're related somehow. I don't know how, but we're related. And they looked out for me. And they ministered to my soul. At night, in dreams, in visions. The ancestors, they've truly looked out for me. They really did. And slowly and surely, they built me back up. And this is why, as Black people, like, no matter where you're from now, right? Because we're all from the same place, really, but whatever. Some people want to argue, but I'm like, why are you arguing with it? It's silly. But never forget your ancestors. Never forget to honor your ancestors. Like, when you feel like, oh, I don't have this, you know, money even became an issue. Like, I don't have enough money. I don't have creativity. Who's going to help me? People might not want to help me, you know, because some people too, when, you know, because I stopped doing YouTube for a while. So, you know, when you stop being, when you're no longer out there and your stuff doesn't grow like it used to, people start acting funny. People start acting really funny. People start being very cocky, very arrogant. Like, they feel as though what they've achieved is like the end, like it's like the act. It's like, no, you can lose that. And not just that, if God sees fit, I can have more than you. So you better chill. You know what I mean? But my ancestors was like, you got this, money. We got you. And I don't know who they are. Even my angels. Shout out to all my archangels. Archangel Michael. Seriously, he's real. Thank you from 2018 that you really made your presence known to me. I didn't even know that stuff was real like that. I was like, then this man is real. You know, Archangel Uriel. Shout out to him. Shout out to my ancestors. I don't know how, but I truly do feel like I do have some connections to Nigeria, because it's not random. It really isn't random. And my Yoruba ancestors also for looking out for me, because they came through. So much I learned, like so much spirituality, so much growth in so many ways. Me even being surrounded by yellow. It's not random. I didn't want to accept it at first, but she chose me for a reason. And for that too, I say thank you. I don't understand everything, so I can't call everything demonic or evil, but I just understand that a lot of spirits, a lot of deities, a lot of ancestors truly looked out for me. So I do want to say this to you, right? This is not even about like buying the power. I mean, I hope you do, but I just want you to not give up on yourself. Don't give up on yourself. Like, I don't care how much weight you've put on. I don't care if people don't talk to you the way they used to. I don't care if people think that you broke, people think that you falling off. It don't matter. They don't matter. They truly do not matter. I want you to be still and to listen to what God has, what is God saying to you, because it's never over. Had I known what I know today, I never would have allowed depression to besiege me the way that it did, because I just allowed it to gain so much territory in my mind. It was ridiculous. You know, in making this palette, like from working on this palette, making the palette, looking for funding to make the palette, I reached out to like 3 venture capital funds. And like they all said no, but I was like, it was okay. I wasn't bothered. I wasn't sad. I was like, oh, we're gonna do the best that we can. Just kept pushing and push. I'm like, you know what? This is gonna come to pass. What God has started, He gonna finish. And I thank God. I thank the heavenlies. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Even like doing the makeup looks. I haven't done makeup in so long. I haven't done makeup in so long. But then when I started, I said, you know, the Lord was saying, you got to start doing these makeup looks. And when I sat down and started creating looks for the peach palette, my hand got so strong, you guys. I don't know what's going on. My hand has gotten so strong. I haven't done makeup in like almost 2 years, right? But today, like, I'm able to do makeup looks that even when I was doing makeup consistently, I couldn't do. It's crazy to me. It is so crazy to me. And I'm like, I truly feel like there's something in this hand. I kid you not. Because this hand has gotten so strong. I feel like, I'm about to sound like Beyonce with Sasha Fierce, but I truly do feel like there's something that comes over me when I get ready to do what I do. I don't know. I'm just being really honest. And even that too, it's favor. It's favor. So please don't give up. Don't quit on yourself. Like Beyonce said, right? Winners don't quit on themselves. You might not feel like a winner right now. You might not feel like you're rich. You might not feel like you're where you want to be. You might not feel like a whole lot of things. And I've been through every single emotion you can imagine. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to talk about this some more, right? But it's like you have so many gifts. And for as much as right now you might feel like your wings have been clipped, I am telling you, you will remember how to fly. Because I did. And I truly believe that, like, anybody that's connected to me, anybody that watches me, anybody that means me well, we can touch and agree that what God has done for me, He will do the same for you. You know what I'm saying? Depression really exists, and it lasts as long as it does, because truly inside of us, we've lost hope, right? When you no longer live a hopeful life, you will be depressed. But what I do want you to tell yourself is that your hope, it's not even like on the carnal level, but your soul knows how to restore your hope. And if today you're watching this and you're like, Marlene, I've lost my hope, I lost my confidence, I lost the desire to, I just don't know how to fly. You know what I mean? I just want you to, you know, just ask the Lord, just to make a little quick prayer, like, God, if everything Marlene is saying is true, please restore my hope. And you will see signs everywhere. You'll start to notice things, like little by little, you'll see God is going to rebuild you from the foundation all the way to the pinnacle of your success. Fear nothing. Fear nothing at all. You know, one time it was here too, I was talking about the story of Gideon, because I was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, I haven't done videos in so long. My following is not as big as it is. You know, like, a lot of things I had to stop. You guys, life is crazy, right? But then God reminded me of the story of Gideon. You know, Gideon was oh my gosh. He was forgeron. How you say forgeron? I have the word in French, which is forgeron. Like the people who work like iron and stuff, right? That's what he did, right? I don't know. I can't think of the word right now. Oh my goodness. Right? So then God appeared to him. And God said to go, like, first of all, God told him to go, like, throw away all the idols from his father's house and to go to war. And he was like, I don't know nothing about this. I just make weapons. Like, I just make things, right? But he was like, you know what? If this is really you, let me go make an offering and I'll be back. So then what Gideon did, he went to make an offering and then he came back. And when he came back, the Spirit of the Lord was still waiting on him. But long story short, he goes to war. God tells him, I'm going to take a lot of men and going to come with you. And I think about like 300 men who came with him. But then along the way, the Lord said to Gideon, I think you have too many people. He's like, what? Hold on, what? Because first, remember, he's not a fighter. So even though he will later on, he's gonna grow in his faith, and that's the thing. Like, let me put this down quickly, right, y'all? And this is the thing. Like, a lot of times when God calls you to your destiny, you will feel so unprepared. Like, you will absolutely feel so unprepared. Like, I'm not the person for this job. Like, they're gonna kill me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not a fighter. You probably make like pots. You make like, pretty designs and stuff. Like, you're not in this business. So you find reassurance in having a whole mob of people around you. If you never fought before, but all of a sudden you walking out here with like the Wu-Tang Clan, which you got like 300 people, like your whole crew, your set is 300 people deep. You're like, well, I might not be a fighter, but with 300 people, I'm sure I can fit at something, right? Cool. So God says to him, oh, that's too many people. He's like, hold up. You playing, right? Because no, you can't be serious right now. Like, I know you're not serious. So his faith, he's scared. Like, are you trying to send us on an execution trip? Like, is this like a suicide mission? So God had him like cut up some sticks, and then the people would pick the sticks. And I think either the ones with the shorter stick or the longer sticks, but whoever had a certain kind of stick had to go home. And guess what? Mad people picked the stick that will send you home. So Gideon's like, oh my gosh, that's 1, 2, 3, 20, 40, what? 50, 100? Hold up. All you heifers picked the wrong stick. Oh, this is it. I'm about to die. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. No, these are voices in my head. You know what I'm saying? So he freaked out, but then he calmed himself down. So then they keep progressing because they're going to fight the enemy, right? So as they go on there to progress, they were thirsty. So there's all of a sudden there's water. So they rush. And as they're drinking the water, God starts talking to Gideon again. He's like, I just don't like talking to you right now because God's like, but why? He's like, because because every time you come through, my crew gets smaller and smaller. So what you want? You ain't gonna take more people, are you? God's like, oh, I don't know. I kind of feel like it. So he's like, oh, no, you can't be serious. So then God says to him, the people who crawled to the water and started licking the water like dogs, they got to go. But then the people who just kneeled and then brought the water to their faces, those are the people who will stay with you. I'm telling you, that part alone, Gideon was left with 50 people. And the people he's going to fight, these are some powerful train of fighters. So he's like, hold up, this is it? This God, he must not love me. Like, this guy must be out here trying to kill me. Like, this is not possible, right? This can't be. So then they go to war. He got 50 people. Gideon is freaking out. Like, I might never see my mom again. I might never see my daddy again. I might never get married like that. I ain't gonna have no children. So by the time they get there, the enemy's gone. Gideon is completely confused. He won the war without ever having to fight. God was just testing his faith. Like, it's you have to see it. But he transformed. Like, Gideon goes from being so scared, low self-esteem, I don't want to be in the front, I'm just going to stay in the back, like, I don't want, this is just not for me, I'll support you, you do it, I'll support you. He goes from being a cheerleader to being a hero. Like, it's crazy. And eventually Gideon becomes one of the judges of the people of Israel. It's insane. It is insane. Right? So you might feel like, I don't know, I don't have enough money, I'm not qualified, I feel like I failed already, my crew's not that deep, I might not have support from these people, girl, baby, brother, like you're trying to use like reasoning from the world to solve your solution. I'm trying to tell you something, and that something is, right? I'm trying to go quick so I'm being mindful of time. I'm just trying to tell you that God will always call you to rise up when you feel the least qualified. I have been there. God will always call you to dream dreams that your pocket can't afford. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I can't afford this. And God's like, I don't really care. But I want you to start thinking about it. I want you to start acting as if it was yours. I want you to let your spirit marinate in you actually owning what it is that right now you can't afford. God don't think like us. Like it's how the mind of God works. Like it's It's beautiful, but it's scary. Like, are you okay? Knock, knock, is somebody there? You know what I'm saying? So please, please, please be encouraged. This was a journey for me, but it happened anyhow. And I want to give a big shout out to my little sister, my biological little sister, her name is Cheryl, for calling me out of my fear. Because she's like, Marlene. Because I kept showing them the design for the palette, and she kept saying, like, Marlene, when is this palette going to come out? When are you going to do the bee palette? You scared her. So shout out to her, Taurus gang, for calling me out of my fear and encouraging me to do this. So shout out to Cheryl. Cheryl, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I was really, really afraid. But I was like, nah, I'm the older sister. Like, she ain't going to punk me. So, you know what I'm saying? I was like, hold on, what I get myself into? Listen to this kid. You know, but she's an earth sign, just like my mom. So my little sister's a Taurus. My mom's a Virgo. She's an earth sign. So they know how to be successful out here in the streets, right? They really, really do. So you guys, you know, just thank you so much. I hope you like the videos. I hope you enjoy the videos. You know, and I look forward to telling you more about this collection because I'm super excited. But I don't want the videos to be too long because this is super long. And, you know, I talk a lot. But hopefully this is helpful. No, because to me, it's really important that you understand like where all this is coming from, what I had to go through to get here. Because on social media, people love to act like, oh, I just woke up one day and then I had 100,000. Oh, I started a website and then 2 days later I made $2 million. No, I think it's very hurtful to present such an unrealistic picture of what being an entrepreneur is, what being a Black woman entrepreneur is, what you're going to face. I want to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like, I never started my channel. I don't engage with people on some fugazi, hypocritical fake stuff. Like, nothing is fake out here, y'all. If we went through something, we're going to talk about it. And as a matter of fact, when I was doing my makeup this morning, I decided I'm going to do a series about behind the brand, like the things that happen with Ling Lashes, like from the good to the bad, so that a lot of people can hear, you can understand what it is, what it truly is, right? And then like how now we're going to try to rebuild things, right? And how we're going to do that. But I'm like, as Black people, we got to stop always trying to front and flex on each other because, you know, we all come from the same problem. We all family, right? And you don't flex on family. You got to keep it honest. You got to keep it transparent. And the more honest you are, people are going to respect you. They'll want to help you. They're like, oh, wow, like, yeah, wow, that's so real. Like, I didn't know. I'm going through that. Oh, I'm also going through that. And everybody starts to open up. Everybody starts to tell the truth. And ultimately what happens is we get closer. You know, people who have really successful YouTube channels or really successful followings on YouTube are people who are honest. They don't try to fake it. No, they tell the truth. And because they told the truth, people are like, oh, I'm going to support you. Because I really like you. I love your story. I love what you stand for. I will be there for you, Marlene. I'll be there for you so-and-so, right? But when you try to be very pretentious, act like you never have any worries, you don't have any issues, you always live in luxury, you always have all this is super, super expensive, like, that's a lie. Nobody's life is like this. Being an entrepreneur is hard. Being a Black entrepreneur is hard because this country, by default, wants whiteness to be the embodiment of entrepreneurship, success, money. You know, they don't want this for Black people. So there are so many things that you have to fight for. The beauty space that I'm in, right? This whole beauty space is super white, right? It is super white. It's super racist, right? Certain things are only for white people, like luxury products, right? Or higher end products are usually for white people or people of white skin. The majority of Black people who have beauty brands tend to be drugstore. Not because their stuff is drugstore. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of Black women. Some I'm happy with, some I'm not happy with. But the truth is the truth, right? I know a lot of Black women who have beauty brands. And honestly, they deserve more money. I don't have to like you to say you deserve more because the stuff that you do is super beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, somebody will go buy an Anastasia palette for $45, but it's like, is the pigment really hitting though? Is it hitting? Right? But you have a lot of Black-owned brands. And I will, whether I like the person or not, I'm going to be the mature one out here. But I will do a lot of reviews on other Black-owned brands, especially when I get the other cameras so that you get to know other Black women in the space, right? Because it's really important. But a lot of Black women who have their indie beauty brands, their pigments hit. It hits hard. Anastasia and Anastasia palette can't sit next to a lot of the work that Black women are doing in this beauty space, right? But because we Black in America, they want to treat us like, what's my auntie's name, right? Rosa Parks. They want us to be in the back of the bus of this beauty industry, right? They put Rihanna in the front because Rihanna is famous already. But if Rihanna was not famous, no offense, if she wasn't light skinned with green eyes also, they would put her in a drugstore lane. You understand what I'm saying? So because she has a massive, Rihanna has a massive following. Rihanna has an extensive history of when she collabs with a brand, the prices go up, revenues go up. So her stuff is documented. But for the rest of us, they treat us like we some real N-words out here, right? And it's cool. That's on them. Before it used to affect me, and God is like, don't even mind these people, because as long as you got your own people and you let them know what it is, you're going to win, right? There's enough black people out here for black people to win. We just have to be honest, transparent, and tell our people, like, this is what we face. This is what I go through. Like, can you please help me, right? So that's why I'm like, you know, I do want to tell you guys, like, a lot of the things that you don't hear from a lot of black entrepreneurs, because, you know, there's so much pressure. There's so much pressure, which is understandable, right? We're always made to feel like we ain't ish. America always tries to make black people feel like they're nothing. Black women are always made to feel like, oh, what's your size? What's your this? You're delusional. You're not being, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a whole movement out here just around humbling, shaming black women into, well, just get what you get. Take what you can get. Right? You guys watch Kevin Samuels and these people in the manosphere, but that's really what the message is. Because you're a black woman, get what you can get. Take what you get. Whatever is thrown at you, just take that. Don't ask. Don't dream. What's your number? What you think you are? A 6, a 7? So you said, oh, you're an 8. Well, Beyonce's an 8. You mean you're trying to say you're Beyonce? I'm like, I love B. I love Beyonce a lot. She inspires me a lot. But I'm like, even Beyonce, I don't even think Beyonce would appreciate or appreciates you using her to put down other black women. Because even Beyonce knows she's not the only beautiful black woman out here. Do you know what I'm saying? And then that's not even good, because even her, she had to go through a lot. And even in that song, Pretty Hurts, she's telling us a lot of things. I think that song, Pretty Hurts, is about her and what she had to go through against the Christina, the Jessica Simpson, the Britney Spears, because they were really small. And naturally, Beyonce is very, very curvy, right? So we just have to be a bit more transparent, right? But we're going to do what Beyonce does. We're going to work really hard. And we're not going to allow anybody to put us in no lane based on the color of our skin, right? We're not going to allow us to know. Luxury is not just reserved for white people. Success is not just for white people. Certain price points are not just reserved for white-owned brands. No. If you work hard, the quality is there, and you can deliver, you deserve to get a certain price also. Does that make sense? Like, black women deserve to be paid not just equal to men, but equal to even their white female counterpart. If you work just as hard as a white woman and you produce just as much quality as a white woman, you deserve what she deserves. Like, she don't get to have $45 and you just take $10. No. Because then again, it shows that that's racist. That's segregation. And the beauty space is highly Jim Crow-ish. You know what I mean? And he's about to do that to me. And that's why I work so hard, so that it could be so beautiful, so that no one could deny. And if you want to deny or not, but at the end of the day, what's going to live in your head is that a black woman did that. A black woman did that. She did all of that by herself. It was all me, by myself. In the words of Nikki, I SHTED on them. And I'll do it again and again and again, because I will do more African American stories. I'll do Detroit. Detroit's in my heart. Chicago's in my heart. Memphis is in my heart. St. Louis is in my heart. Atlanta's in my heart. You know, New York, Harlem is in my heart. Ooh, I want to do Harlem so bad. I want to do Harlem. Harlem is in my heart. So we'll have more palettes that focus around like African American stories in the future. So thank you guys so much. Sorry this was like an hour long, but I had to just get all this stuff out. So thank you, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And hopefully you get the palette October 15th. The price is $52. Shipping is $15, so it comes out to $67, right? And I can't wait. We're going to slay together. Friends that slay together, stay together. So I cannot wait for you to get this palette so we can slay together. And don't forget, there'll be special tutorials just for this palette that will be available, accessible to everyone who orders the palette. So that's pretty dope. We have a lot of tutorials, right? So that's complimentary on top of like the 67. So like, you can't beat that. No, you can't. Okay, so I love you. Bisous, bisous. Je vous aime et puis on se parle demain. Bye.